Hey everybody, what's up? I just want to give you a few brief thoughts about Extreme Rules before I get into Raw tonight. That way I do it with a lot less bias and a lot less, oh well, here's the pay-per-view combined with what happened on Raw tonight. Extreme Rules. How can I say this? How can I say this that won't get my dick cut off? Oh wait, I can't because I'm not allowed to enjoy stuff. Extreme Rules was a good show. Now, underscore that. It was a good show. I'm not saying it was a great show. I'm not saying it was WrestleMania. But then again, it wasn't WrestleMania. So, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. And I saw, with the exception of one, and you guys won't be surprised by this, with the exception of one match, I grabbed something good out of each and every match here on the card last night. Whatever. I just got home from work. I'm tired. This is what it is. On the pre-show. Why? Let's try that one again. There are advantages to doing my videos at ridiculous o'clock in the morning. Don't even know where I was, and I'm not even going to pretend. The pre-show was a little bit of a shuffle. We were supposed to have the tag team match on the pre-show. We didn't. Tag team championship match was bumped to the main card so that we could get Wade Barrett versus Adrian Neville on the pre-show. And I say Adrian Neville because he was called Adrian Neville several times by the commentators, which I found funny. Which means maybe he won't suffer NXT you lose your name when you come to the main roster syndrome. Great fucking match. I've said it before, I mean, we all know that Neville can do amazing high-flying shit, but he got a chance to slow down a little bit, show some power moves. He did the delayed belly-to-back suplex on Barrett, who's quite a bit bigger than him, and he got the win with the red arrow, which is fantastic. And everybody's going to say, well, it doesn't count because it's not on the pre-show, whatever. Pre-show is part of pay-per-view culture now, so if you beat him on the pre-show, you technically still beat him at a pay-per-view. Now, this is the guy that was supposed to be competing with Daniel Bryan. This is the guy that is not only a former multiple-time champion, but was going for that title again against a guy the caliber of Daniel Bryan. So for a guy like Neville to have a shot against him was fantastic. He showed what he could do, and he's fucking great. Like, you know, all the NXT marks out there, have some pride. You know, shout it from the rooftops. Your guy from NXT who got to face the champion in his second ever match got a really good chance to shine. Yes, now, am I going to make a joke about the fact that it was at Daniel Bryan's expense? No, because the fact that he's injured sucks. Am I also going to say that if he stays injured, they should take the title off him and put it on somebody that can actually defend it? Yes, but that's a video for another time. This was a great showcase for Neville, and I don't think it hurt Barrett either, because Barrett can always go from the heel's point of view as, you know, I spent all this time preparing for Daniel Bryan in my championship match. I had no time to prepare for somebody like Neville. And there's a million different things that go. And I've heard people bitching, and you know, when I say people, you know who I'm talking about. Oh, we're going to see this match again on Raw. So what? So you're going to have this guy that just came up from NXT, who already looks fucking fantastic, in a program with a guy as established as Wade Barrett. I failed to see the bad end of this. Now, most people will agree the best match of the night was Ambrose versus Harper. I won't agree, but it was fun. It was fun. It broke the mold. It got us away from the ring. Weapon shots. Both of them got to be crazy. There were several Walking Dead references from JBL, which I love, because you guys know I love watching Walking Dead as well. For those of you that are asking, yes, Walking Stuff and Dead Things over on the other channel did kind of fall off this season. We do hope to remedy that sometime in the near future, but I really don't know what to tell you for right now. The match was great. The idea that they left and did some stuff elsewhere was a nice, neat little touch, because we are in the PG era. There's nothing incredibly gruesome that they could do in front of us, but they could disappear for a half hour and let our minds wander what they could do on the streets of Chicago. Now, Chicago is another one that I'm going to touch on for a little bit, because all the haters of WWE right now, and again, you know the two guys that I'm talking about, I'm not going to mention them by name because they don't deserve it. They were really going into this show, you know, licking their lips. Oh man, Chicago's a smart crowd. Chicago is a hijack crowd. They're going to tear this show apart, and then we're going to get to laugh. And Chicago loved a lot of this show, and loved all the parts of this show that the haters didn't want you to love, but we'll get to that as we get to it. While Ambrose and Harper are having a little joyride around Chicago, we have the tag team title match. We have Cesaro and Kidd with Natalya versus Big E and Kofi of the New Day with Xavier Woods in their corner. Great match. Two power guys. Cesaro, yes, I will admit, looked great. Big E doing the spear that he does out of the ring is fucking fantastic. You got the two lighter guys in there, Kidd and Kofi. They looked great. You got heel tactics galore by Xavier Woods on the outside. You got the taste slapped out of his mouth by Natty. It's all good. Through scheming means New Day is your new tag team champions, and I am 100% okay with this, guys. I really, really am. New Day got heat because they're supposed to, because they are designed to be heels. Yes, they're going out there with a cheesy positive gimmick. But you know what else was a cheesy positive gimmick? Daniel Bryan as the vegan. You know what else was a cheesy positive gimmick? The right to censor. The straight edge society. I could go on and on and on and on and on. The Spirit Squad. If you really look at them, they're a bunch of cheerleaders. They're bringing positivity and fun. They got the crap kicked out of them by DX on a daily basis. It's fantastic and wonderful. Anybody that shoves positivity you don't want in your face is going to be a heel. This is designed to happen. Oh, the guys that are trying to hate on the show, well, Chicago really crapped on that because this gimmick sucks. No, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And in the process, the internet darlings of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd are instantly babyface now because they got screwed. And Natalya, Neidhart, and Tyson Kidd's like bickering couple bullshit that they've been doing for the past little while seems to be going away, which is good as well because it wasn't helping anybody. New tag team champions, not a problem with this whatsoever. The Kiss Me Arse match. Now, Sheamus is a Mack truck, Dolph Ziggler's a ragdoll. This match was pretty damn good. Now, I will separate the ending segment from the match itself. The match itself was great. Dolph Ziggler finally got a long overdue victory over Sheamus, which is great, and it was unexpected. Sheamus just came back. He's on this big, massive heel tear. Everybody bet money that Sheamus was going to win and Ziggler was going to get buried once again. Rah. Now, the segment after the fact, yes, it ran long. It went to the point of it was getting to be kind of pointless. But what happened in the segment had to happen. Because you had to get sympathy for Ziggler, and you had to get heel heat on Sheamus, which works on two levels. He backed out of a stipulation that he set out, and he put the victorious babyface, in an embarrassing situation, which should have been a victorious situation. So double heel heat, more sympathy for Dolph Ziggler. This thing's going to go forward. And you know what? Like I say, Mack Truck and Ragdoll, it's a perfect match. The only other person I would really want to see Dolph Ziggler go up against right now would be Wade Barrett. But then you'd have to have Sheamus going against Daniel Bryan, who is injured. So we got to do something else with him. And we've already done Neville versus Sheamus, so that's already happened. Great. U.S. chain match was... It was what it was. I don't like this match in concept. I don't. But people out there complaining on Twitter and on Facebook and whatever else, oh, this is just a glorified tug-of-war. I hate to break it to you, any match that's ever happened like this has been that. Everybody went back to JBL versus Eddie Guerrero, you know, rest in peace and all that sort of great match. But that's basically all it is. It's a glorified tug-of-war until you get to the four corners. People that I'm not going to mention, oh, all they did was try for the four corners. That's how you win the match. Now, was their choice of match horrible? Absolutely, but what they did with it, they did what they could with it. It was great. They used it as a weapon, they used it as a means for moving their opponent around, and, you know, Cena got the win. What the fuck ever. And we're gonna get it one more time at Payback in an I Quit match. Cry me a fucking river. As Good Mike Work said, you know, this guy gets to stand in the John Cena spotlight 4 pay-per-views in a row. And it's not like John Cena's undefeated against the guy either. Just put that in perspective. But what this also means is that John Cena is probably going to continue the John Cena U.S. title invitational, which is great because it's going to let more people stand in that John Cena spotlight. Yes, John Cena has the spotlight way too much, but he's letting just about everybody stand in it with him at this point, and it's a far cry from him main eventing every WrestleMania, is it not? The Divas match. This is where we fall down. This is where the replacement for Paige is Naomi. And we had to change Naomi because she's a heel, and I get that. We have to strive and struggle to make Naomi even somewhat relevant. I get that. But we basically took Naomi, right, as bland, moderately athletic, generic diva. I'm being nice, with a big ass. We put her in a downplayed version of Natalya's outfit from earlier. We gave her Sasha Banks' sunglasses. We gave her shitty rave music. And we gave her shoes that constantly light up and change color. So that basically what she ends up looking like is the love child of Sasha Banks and Lady Gaga that was spawned at a rave and never really left. Before this, she cut another one of her famous Black Scott Steiner promos, which is fucking horrible. And she got her token botch in the Bella's friggin' did what needed to be done and put her back in her place. Now, people, again, bitching, well, if Naomi's supposed to be on this great heel turn, how come the Bellas are still being heels? It's fantastic and wonderful. Because if we're going to push this heel monstrosity Naomi, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have some sort of reason for it. Now, it's all fine, it's all wonderful for her to get beaten by a babyface and make up some bullshit, like Rusev did. I didn't lose, whatever. But now, she can back up her reason for being angry. She can back up her reason for pulling off more and more scheming tactics and heelish means. If she just got screwed over by another heel, if she looks at them and says, look, they're pulling all this skeevy evil bullshit, they're not trying to make any friends or influence any people, and look at the success they're having. If they can do it, so can I. You can use a heel to build another heel. You can do it. I know it shatters the mold, and it breaks YWC 101, but think about it. Is that not what you want? Do you want another token, stereotypical out-of-the-cookie-cutter babyface heel thing? We're going to get that when Paige comes back. Paige is going to put that bitch in her place if they ever make the mistake of putting the belt on her. But right now, use two established heels like the Bellas to build Naomi. It's fucking fantastic. And she lost, which makes me happy. It really shows the upper body strength and toning of a superstar like Nikki Bella to get that fat ass up off the ground. Oh, and fuck yes. Oh, and she got her token botch in for the night. She fell off the ring turnbuckle and fell on her ass, which made me laugh, not gonna lie. Last Man Standing, I will say this, was not a fantastic 5-star classic, but it was watchable. It was good. It had a couple of spots, and much to the chagrin of all the haters on Twitter, all the keyboard warriors with their keys on fire didn't like it when we got holy shit chants. Oh yes, we got NXT chants. Because, let's think, all of you NXT marks out there, where is Roman Reigns from? Where is he from? Oh, that's right, NXT, which means he can't do anything wrong. Oh wait, WWE's pushing him. That overrides the other set of logic, doesn't it? It was a good match. It wasn't great, but look at his opponent. His opponent was the Big Show. Big Show was fucking useless in 2015. This is a thing. I will agree with all of you on this. He managed to drag Big Show's 500-pound ass to a watchable match. He dragged him, kicking and screaming, to acceptability, and in the end, the Big Show should thank him. That's all I have to say about that. The cage match was fucking great. The avoiding of the RKO was a bit awkward at times, I'm sure. It was about as awkward as any time any of the announcers or any of the ring crew said arse. But the match was awkward. The avoiding of the RKO was a little bit of, here and there. The heel brought back up, and everybody's like, oh my god, the Authority's here again. That's what a heel does. A heel brings back up. A heel stacks things in their favor. Oh, we made this match all about Kane. No, Kane is backup in the Seth Rollins storyline. Seth Rollins, the biggest NXT success story to date, has all these guys as his backup. Did they get in the ring? Yeah. Did they get smoked? Yes. Did Seth Rollins win the match? Yes. Seth Rollins won by RKOing Randy Orton. Biggest fuck you could give to Randy Orton. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. It is great going forward. Orton got screwed when they talked about the RKO being banned or not being banned or whatever. Here's the deal. It's the RKO because it's the Randall, Keith, whatever, Orton is his initials. So if Seth Rollins did it, it would be the SRKO. So technically he didn't use a banned move, did he? He could say he used the Diamond Cutter. He can say he used the Seth KO or whatever. Orton got screwed. They can continue the story. They can include Kane if they really want to. I'm hoping they don't, but whatever. And they can include Roman Reigns. They can, bring Dean Ambrose or Roman Reigns into the fold at any given time. They have problems with the Authority. They have problems with Seth Rollins. There's a bunch of things they can do with this. Almost, because the Divas match was shit, I will admit. Almost every match on this card opened wide opportunities for what they're going to do at Payback. Yeah, we're going to get Cena and Rusev again. Okay, I'm sorry, Cena still exists. It's a thing. But we had Bo Dallas get the shit kicked out of him by Ryback. Nothing happened with Bray Wyatt other than another creepy promo on the pre-show. I really hope the rumors of him versus Ryback aren't true, but we'll see where that goes. If we're going to have some sort of alliance between Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, which I've also heard rumored, that could be great as well. I don't know, what time is it? I'm going to have to go eat something eventually. I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see you guys for Raw in a little bit. Start playing some music right about now. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, here with your post-Extreme Rules Raw review. Now, something, if you guys want to share a little bit of a laugh with me, something I read on Twitter today is that Preston of Wrestling Paradise is going to somehow air out all my dirty laundry. So if anybody hears how that goes, let me know. I could use a chuckle. But Raw, after Extreme Rules, which is incredibly downplayed because that's the cool thing to do, was not too bad. We had the surprising return of the King of the Ring. Apparently this was announced last night. I missed it. I don't catch everything. I saw it actually pop up in my Q&A next week. You know, what do you think of the return of the King of the Ring? And I'm thinking, I haven't heard of it yet. But now I have. Apparently the deal is that all the preliminary matches happen tonight on Raw. Tomorrow night, the semifinals and the finals will be taking place on a special on the WWE Network. And everybody's like, oh, well, why would they do that? That's such a bitch move. Well, really? They're trying to sell their network. You're going to put the good stuff there. I'm surprised they, you know, when there are deals with USA TV and Sportsnet 360 up here in Canada, when those deals run out, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raw and SmackDown and all that shit goes to the WWE Network. I'm surprised that Tough Enough, when it comes back, is going on the USA Network as opposed to the WWE Network. But that's another story for another time. It's kind of random. There were no qualifying matches. I get that. It's kind of out of the blue. It's going to be done in 2 nights. I get that as well. But it's a cool thing. I've always said, and this is going to come up in a future video, I've always said that the King of the Ring needs to come back. Have it come just before SummerSlam, the same way that Royal Rumble comes right before WrestleMania. SummerSlam sort of being that other WrestleMania throughout the year. Have somebody earn a spot like that by winning the tournament. The tournament's always good. There's always 1 or 2 comedy people thrown into the tournaments, and R-Truth is in this one, and it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Well, we get an opening video package that consists of the King of the Ring. So if anybody didn't see the pay-per-view last night, everybody's going to go into this Raw thinking, what the hell, King of the Ring? But we have a promo of King of the Ring, all the past kings, Owen Hart, Brock Lesnar, Edge, Sheamus, who else? Triple H, Steve Austin, Harley Race, all those things. We opened the show proper with Rollins out there with J&J Security and Kane gloating about his win last night. The Viper should have learned that he can't outsmart Seth Rollins. I win because I hit him with an SKO out of nowhere, which is fine, which is wonderful. I have some good soldiers, so thank you, Kane. You did a great job as the Crypt Keeper. Oh, I mean, the Gatekeeper. I mean, the Crypt Keeper was an old guy from the 90s that, you know, doesn't have it anymore. How could I ever mistake him for you? And he goes all on like this, and Kane reminds him that if it wasn't for my help in J&J Security and that illegal RKO, you wouldn't have that title anymore. I would rather be the Crypt Keeper than the WWE's Justin Bieber. This was funny, it made me laugh, but I don't think it did Seth Rollins any favors because we got Justin Bieber chants for the rest of the night. Rollins says, you know what, you're just jealous of me, your time has passed, I get to go home every night as champion, whereas you should just go home permanently. Orton comes out, Roman comes out, they both say that they should get a shot at the title. I've written it down, but really it's just give us a shot at the title. You've both lost to me, no shots for either one of you, but Kane says, well, you know, the authority isn't here tonight, so that means I'm in charge. So we're going to have a tag team match tonight, show them how strong the authority is, and then we're going to let the WWE Universe decide who you're facing at Payback. Is it Orton? Is it Roman Reigns? Or is it both of them in a triple threat match? Which, obviously, you know, Seth Rollins, not pleased, to say the least. The opening round, or the opening match of the opening round of the King of the Ring tournament is Ziggler versus Barrett. We start the match with elbows by Ziggler, boots and punches by Barrett, elbows and out of breath. Elbow drop by Barrett and boot and a drop kick by Ziggler takes us to a commercial break. Barrett rides a headlock and elbow. Ziggler hits an elbow. Barrett eats post. They start trading punches. Stinger splash by Ziggler. Crucifix pin gets a near fall for Ziggler. Wasteland gets countered into a DDT by Ziggler. Barrett catapults Ziggler. He eats turnbuckle, catches him, and hits a Wasteland, which is a nice, neat little sequence there. Barrett is a great brawler, but as far as putting these sequences of moves together, it's something that I've seen him do in the past little while, and it looks really, really good. Barrett misses the bullhammer. Ziggler hits a super kick, but then we have Sheamus up on the ramp, distracting him, telling him, you know, do you still taste the defeat of last night and all that sort of thing. Puts the picture up on the Titantron of Ziggler kissing his bare ass, and that's obviously a distraction. Bullhammer gets the win. Bad news, Barrett gets to advance in the tournament, which is great, and this is the first point of the night where people get to bitch. Okay, King of the Ring tournament is going to last 2 nights. Ziggler and Sheamus have a storyline going forward, and a little bit of a spoiler alert, Sheamus gets to go on in this tournament, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So if Ziggler goes on to the next pay-per-view and defeats Sheamus after he's been crowned the 2015, I guess, King of the Ring, does that not do Ziggler some good? Get some vengeance, get some heel heat for Sheamus, get some sympathy for Ziggler, give an accolade to Sheamus, not the Rusev kind, just the generic kind, and then have all that glory be taken away by a loss to Ziggler at the main pay-per-view. You know, some forward thinking, some long-term planning, as opposed to, oh my god, Ziggler lost tonight, after he won a pretty decent match at Extreme Rules last night. The New Day come out with a really, really cheesy promo, as it's supposed to be, thanking the Clappers. I guess their fans are called the Clappers, which is fine. It's lame, as is their gimmick to draw heat. It's fantastic. Tyson Kidd versus Big E is the next match. It doesn't last very long, but we get a real big showcase of all the things that Tyson Kidd can do. We have a spin kick by Tyson Kidd to start the match, some punches, a pendulum kick from the outside, which is really fucking nice, and a missile drop kick from the top. Mudhole stomping by Kidd, and Big E bails. Running body splash by Big E, and Xavier Woods holding down his Kidd's foot from the outside gets a quick win for Big E. Basically, everybody's going to say that the New Day squashed the one half of the former tag team champions. Well, Cesaro and Kidd, along with Natalya, are brand new faces with the help of the Chicago crowd. They're getting screwed, which means they're getting sympathy, which means they're going to still get a push, and the story is going to go on going forward. Now, this match was a quick showcase of everything that Tyson Kidd can do. Big E Langston got one move in, got lucky, and had help to win. So tell me how this doesn't make Tyson Kidd look like a boss. Just saying. We replay the Russian chain match from Extreme Rules, and it is announced that there's an I Quit match between Cena and Rusev at Payback, which is fine, which is wonderful. I like this thing that they're doing in the WWE on the pay-per-views, where at least once in a pay-per-view, you already get a long in advance preview of what's going to happen at the next pay-per-view. Right from the night of the pay-per-view, you have something to look forward to a month from now. It's good. It's a nice, neat little thing. Ryback versus Bo Dallas. I put my pen down because I figured, okay, Ryback versus Bo Dallas is going to be a squash. And then Bo Dallas started getting a lot of offense and being heely and aggressive and whatever. So I didn't write it on everything he did. But he got the big guy down on a bunch of occasions. He rides a headlock. Eventually, Ryback does come back, because look at the size of Ryback. He's a fucking tank. He's going to do that. Spinebuster, meat hook, and a shell shock. Ryback gets the win. That's not the story. The story is lights off, lights on, Bray Wyatt eats his sister Abigail from Bray Wyatt. Later on in the night, we get a cryptic promo from Bray Wyatt that I'm not going to try and recreate, because we all see in the lead up to Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker that I'm not that great at re-delivering Bray Wyatt promos, so I'm not going to do that anymore. But basically he says, I know what you're afraid of, I know what your fears are, etc., 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 and they're going to go. And the thing is, I heard the rumor like the rest of us did, and I rolled my eyes because I thought, why the hell would they do that? I have to confess, I don't think it's going to be a great match. I have to confess, I'm curious as to the reasoning. I'm curious as to the story. You know, we know why he went after The Undertaker. We know why he went after Kane when he first started. We know why he went after Cena. We know why he went after Jericho. On the first glance, there's nothing for him to gain from taking out Ryback. So, call me a little naive. I'm kind of curious to figure out, or to have it revealed, how the story and the explanation are going to roll out. I have to reiterate, I don't think the resulting match will be spectacular, but I want to know what they're going to do with it. It might be a little bit of a test for Ryback, because Bray Wyatt is, you know, he's in a prominent spot, although most people don't want to believe it. I mean, they see him as prominent enough to work directly with Cena a couple of times, Taker, Jericho, Kane. You know, they saw fit to make him the head of one of the prominent prominent factions in that faction time frame where we had the Shield and the Wyatt family and whatever. So for those of you who think that WWE don't think anything of him, that's, well, it's retarded. quite frankly. But I want to know what they see in Ryback. See, it's the flip of the coin. Like, we know what we see in Wyatt, so that, you put Wyatt with somebody like The Undertaker. I want to know what they see in Ryback that they put him with Bray Wyatt. So I'm very, very curious at this point. I had the same reaction as all you guys. What the fuck, that doesn't sound very good. But because of that reaction, I'm curious as to how they're going to explain it away. And that's a long ramble that probably wasn't necessary. Cena comes out to do the U.S. title challenge, talks about the fact that he beat Rusev, talks about the fact that he's going to go to Payback and beat him again, which is fantastic. Slater accepts the challenge, comes out onto the rampway, talks some shit, gets kicked off the stage by Rusev. Rusev sends Lana away, which gets Lana a chance, and they progress that story on. The retarded notion that they're recreating Mark Merrow and Sable. Can we just not strive for strings and straws and bullshit scenarios? Can we do that just one time? Can we just see where it goes without saying, oh, this is the next this, or this is the next that, or blah 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 blah, I know what they're gonna do? Can we do without that just for once? Rusev talks some shit and drops the flag, and Cena doesn't say much after that, so we're good. Kind of a useless segment, I will admit, but, I mean, did we really want to see Heath Slater versus John Cena? Next King of the Ring tournament, first round matches. R-Truth versus Stardust. R-Truth starts with 2 roll-ups that are near falls each. Slapping a bulldog by Stardust, boots by Stardust, a straight jacket choke by Stardust, which he releases to kick R-Truth in the face and put him back in the straight jacket choke once again. Elbow and a clothesline by R-Truth. R-Truth hits the spin kick. They trade punches, and Truth hits the lie detector and gets the win. With as much fun as WWE Creative have with Stardust, I'm really, really surprised that he didn't win this match. But as I say, a tournament like this always has one guy that's kind of out of the blue, kind of comedic, and etc., etc., etc. Kind of like, go back a couple of years, think about Santino Marella being in the Elimination Chamber. Think of it like that. He's not going to win. Stardust, let's be real, even if Stardust had won this match, he wasn't going to win King of the Ring. He was going to, he didn't said in his promo, he was going to be like Lord of the Cosmos or some bullshit like that. But, great match by both guys. Stardust is still entertaining to me. I know everybody's like, oh, he's not Cody, he's not going for a title, so they've buried him. Well, no, not really. Fandango versus Adam Rose is still a thing. They replay they replay Fandango in the UK, ditching Rosa Mendez and getting the old Fandangoing music back there. And we really, really push that, although this is like a B, C, D, E, F card feud, the Fandango and the Fandangoing thing is getting over with the crowd again. They start with a collar and elbow tie-up and a headlock and a takedown by Rose. Standing drop kick by Fandango, which is really, really nice. A choke on the ropes by Rose, chops by Fandango, and he tosses Rose out of the ring. A somersault suicide dive by Fandango, and it's pretty. We see that one of the Rosebuds is actually Rosa Bud. Distraction by... Not necessarily a distraction, but Fandango just standing there in the ring looking at her like, what the fuck are you doing, is enough to let Adam Rose get the party foul and get the win. And then Adam Rose and Rosa Mendez make out in the ring, and even JBL says, can we please go to break? And it's kind of a thing. WWE uses Brie Bella in a backstage segment to remind us that Daniel Bryan exists, and it's kind of sad. Brie versus the raving retard Naomi, and that's what she's going to be until they show me that she's something else. Thez pressed by Brie and mounting punches to start the match. Messy elbow by Naomi, and then she celebrates by sitting her fat ass on the rope and bouncing up and down. And then she hits a botched leg drop, because that's what she does. Double arm snapmare by Brie, which is friggin' nice. Clothesline and a dropkick by Brie. Second rope missile dropkick by Brie, and an awkward, bulldozer cradle thing by Naomi gets her the win that makes no sense. Fantastic. Yes, I have to reiterate this. I fully support give divas a chance. I really do. But it's not give any diva a chance. If the roster runs short, we're not going to put Renee Young, all due respect to her, and she's gorgeous in her role, we're not going to put her in the ring next week. It's just not going to happen. Lana is apparently going to come up. Is she going to immediately get a title shot? I hope not. I hope she gets a good, strong build. Naomi has some ability in the ring, I will say that, but she botches at least once or twice a match. And I'm sorry, what the one thing that the Divas division that's already struggling for legitimacy doesn't need is a Diva Sin Cara. I'm just putting that one out there. King of the Ring qualifying match. Ambrose versus Sheamus. Starts with a collar and elbow tie-up, and they trade pie faces and headlocks. Shoulder tackle by Sheamus, and Ambrose locks him in sort of a leg face lock, locks up his legs, you know, sort of tears at his face at the same time. It's not quite an STF or a Regal stretch. It's some modified version of that, but he's basically clawing at the face rather than having him in a proper hold. It's a nice, neat little crazy Ambrose moment. Ambrose elbows in the corner, chops by Ambrose, splash and a rebound forearm by Ambrose takes us to commercial break. Sheamus rides a headlock for a long time to remind us that he's a bad guy. Kitchen sink by Sheamus, vertical suplex throw, that modified vertical suplex throw that Sheamus has been doing since he came back, which is really, really nice. Rebound clothesline by Ambrose, fists and chops by Ambrose. Sheamus eats the post, and it's nice. Suicide dive by Ambrose, Irish curse by Sheamus. Dirty Deeds is countered into a cloverleaf submission by Sheamus, which obviously Ambrose breaks because he's a badass and because he can get to the ropes. 10 beats of the Bowerin is countered with elbows and a hangman. Ambrose hits a top rope elbow. Sheamus hip tosses him across the commentator's desk. Ambrose runs off said commentator's desk and hits him with a running clothesline. It's great. Sheamus eats the post again, but comes back with a brogue kick. Ziggler attacks Sheamus. Sheamus wins by disqualification. We've got storyline all over the shop, and Sheamus advances in the tournament. It's pointed out at this point, right before the Neville match, that we could have a lot of foreigners in the tournament going forward, because we've already got Sheamus, we've already got Wade Barrett, and JBL says something to the effect of he's really cheering for Luke Harper because Luke Harper is representing America. Sure, why not? But no, it's a good match. The feud between Ziggler and Sheamus, like I said, is fantastic and should continue. Sandow comes out with a promo, and I didn't write any of it down because honestly, it was fucking entertaining. He came out and he was mocking his old intellectual gimmick. He was mocking all the other things he came out here to do. You know, he comes out and he says, "I wanted to educate the unwashed masses," and we all see how that went. You know, I wasn't over enough or entertaining enough. And then he looks at the crowd. He says, "Well, you guys are the ones that said it." Goes through all his old gimmicks, the Magneto thing, the basketball player, and even dressing up like Vince McMahon. And then he talks shit about the Mizdow thing. And then he says, the only thing the Mizdow thing did was connect me to you guys, and I can't thank you enough for that, and all that sort of stuff. And then he's cut off by Axelmania, who talks some shit, who comes out and says, the one thing I can't stand is somebody who doesn't know who they are and tries to be somebody else, which is great. He does the Mizdow mimicking thing to Axel. I'm not going to try and repeat it all, but it's great. It's fantastic. It's comical. It's wonderful. Sandow is so comfortable in his shoes right now. It's fucking amazing to watch. And then, of all things, he finishes him off with the punches and the U and the leg. He does the Hogan leg drop to finish everything off, but he doesn't hit the leg drop before hitting the old Kodito Akiet, the elbow of disdain, and then the Hogan leg drop. It's a great little segment. You know what? In all honesty, you know what? I'm trying to be light here. I'm trying to have fun here. I'm trying to, express my entertainment with the company, which I know is not exactly a popular thing right now. But if they took Axelmania and the new and improved Damien Sandow and gave them a match at Payback, I wouldn't mind. You know, we kind of got off the Miz thing. The Miz and Summer Rae are going to go do something else, I'm assuming. I'm surprised they're not actually in the King of the Ring tournament, to be honest with you. But if we get the new and improved Damien Sandow versus Axelmania at Payback, I'll watch. It'll be good. It'll be fantastic. It'll be wonderful. Especially because, if he's going to continue doing the mimic thing and just mimic anybody he's in the ring with, that could be fantastic and entertaining going forward. We're getting a rematch for the tag team titles this week on SmackDown. Unfortunately, there will not be the fights on Wednesday night this week, because this Wednesday night I will be doing Ask the Phoenix, which you have about 2 days left to get questions in if you want to squeak them in at the last minute. I will, however, do a review of the quarterfinals and finals of the King of the Ring tournament that are happening tomorrow on the WWE Network for $9.99 if you guys want to see it. So let me know down in the box below. King of the Ring tournament, first round, the last match, Neville versus Harper. It's fantastic. Neville does a little promo before listing off all the respected former Kings of the Ring, and he has a big long pause before he mentions Owen Hart, which is nice and respectful and fantastic. Starts off with a head scissor by Neville and a kick by Neville, an apron head scissor by Neville, a boot by Harper, and an uppercut. Harper rides a headlock for a long time. Yes, we know he's a bad guy. Boots by Neville, and he tosses Harper out of the ring. Springboard moonsault on the outside by Neville. Standing shooting star press by Neville once he gets him back in the ring. A boot and an over-under suplex by Harper, a belly-to-back suplex and an enziguri by Neville, the Batista bomb by Harper, which gets a really close near fall. They trade elbows, they trade chops, a pendulum kick by Neville, a springboard sunset flip off the second rope as a setup for the Red Arrow gets the win for Neville, and he's the last one to go into the King of the Ring tournament, which is going to happen tomorrow night on the WWE Network for $9.99. Oh yes. Alright, it's going to be good. We got Neville versus Sheamus, and we've got R-Truth versus Barrett. So we're going to have Barrett versus Sheamus, which is fantastic, or we're going to have Barrett versus Neville rematch from Extreme Rules for the King of the Ring title, which will be fantastic. Yes, main event of the evening is Roman Reigns and Randy Orton versus Kane and Seth Rollins. Roman and Rollins trade headlocks to start. Arm whip by Roman and a tilt-a-whirl slam by Roman. Kitchen sink and a front suplex over the ropes by Orton. Stomps and knees by Orton. Orton and Roman double team him in the corner. Kane suplexes Roman. Kane boots Orton. Kane and Rollins mudhole Orton in the corner. Rollins rides a headlock on Orton for a long time because he's a bad guy. Headbutts and punches by Orton, rolling clotheslines by Rollins, which is nice because Paige wasn't on the show today. I didn't get any rolling clotheslines, but Rollins helped me out because he's a good guy, except he's a bad guy. Roman beats down Kane and he hits the second rope clothesline. Roman eats post by Kane twice on the outside, spine first, which looks like it hurts, and I'm sure it does. Boots and knees by Rollins. Rollins and Reigns brawl. Rollins hits a splash. Kane hits a side slam. Kane locks in a bear hug after the side slam. Boots by Roman, clothesline by Kane. Boots by Rollins. Roman and Kane brawl for a long, prolonged sequence. Vertical suplex by Roman on Kane. Looks nice because Kane isn't exactly a small guy. One arm deadlift powerbomb by Roman Reigns is impressive. I don't care if you like the guy or not. Clothesline and a slam by Orton. All four men are in the ring. Roman bitch slaps J&J security, which makes me smile. Rollins drop kicks Kane by accident, which is also great. Suspension DDT on Rollins by Orton. RKO is turned into a low super kick by Rollins. Rollins hits a suicide dive to the outside to his partner. Kane decks J&J security. Kane decks Rollins. Rollins gets back into the ring to eat a Superman punch and an RKO. Roman Reigns and Randy Orton get the win. Kane goes to the results, and by like a 78 or something like that % vote, Roman Reigns and Randy Orton will be taking on Seth Rollins in a triple threat match at Payback, and that announcement just blows Rollins' mind. Not like they haven't been hammering it home all night. A spear from Roman Reigns to Rollins with the biggest smile on his face ends the show. This is fantastic, guys. Right now, I won't say fantastic, but it's a damn good start. It is a damn good start. Whoever the King of the Ring is going to ride that momentum into Payback. We've already got Cena versus Rusev set up for the I Quit match, which everybody is supposed to bitch about, but I'm going to see what they do, because the chain match, the stipulation on the chain match really hurt them, I think. And these guys need to go out there, have one more match, show what they can do, and end this feud. And we're going to get Roman versus Orton versus Rollins in the main event scene. No stipulations attached and no Kane involved, which should make a lot of people happy. This was a good Raw. If anybody was pissed off about Extreme Rules, this should have at least revived you somewhat, if not completely. That's all I've really got to say. As you can tell, I'm running out of voice. So I will say, put your questions down in the box below. I will be doing Ask the Phoenix on Wednesday, so if you don't get me the questions by then, I don't know what to tell you other than your questions won't be in the Q&A. There will be a new fan interaction going up this Friday, as it is the beginning of the month. I will be reviewing the finals of this new out of nowhere King of the Ring tournament. So stay tuned for all of that. Let me know if you've stayed to the end of this video. Let me know what my buddy Preston has to say about me. I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Let me know. Put your final thoughts down in the box below about Extreme Rules and the post-Extreme Rules Raw. Don't be a stranger. I'll talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.
complete.